Morning, everyone. My name is Oleru Huda Avasan. I'm the State Minister for Defense, Veteran Affairs, in charge of veterans. I'm here on behalf of my senior minister, Honorable Jacob Obofobo, who is also handling another commitment, and therefore I'm here with my team from Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs. In the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, we are normally in two categories. We have the civilian group, which is led by my Undersecretary of Finance, who is representing PS here. I will request her to introduce the civilian team, and I have the military team that will also be introduced by the team from the military side. Madam, can you introduce our team from the civilian side?
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I'm Edith Luturo. I'm the Undersecretary of Finance Administration and Accounting Officer, representing the Family Secretary, Mrs. Rosette Yengoma. On my civilian team, I'll ask my colleagues to also introduce themselves. Thank you.
Honourable Minister, my name is Governor Kahilita Francis. I'm Under Secretary of Logistics in the Ministry of Defense and Veterans Affairs.
Honourable Minister and members, my name is Mutavazi James. I'm Under Secretary in the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, working with Uganda People's Defense Air Forces.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. My name is Ken Yomi, Assistant Commissioner, Policy and Planning. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I'm Charlotte Kajumba, Principal Budget Officer, Ministry of Defense. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. My name is Osuja Manuel Francis. I'm the statistician at the Ministry of Defense.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I'm Doris Anitwe, Economist under the Ministry of Defense.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. My name is Daniel Shearer, Economist, Ministry of Defense.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. My name is Priscilla Munda, and I'm the personal assistant to the Minister of State for Veterans, in charge of Veterans Affairs.
Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to invite General Masiko to introduce the military side of the Ministry of Defense.
Major General Henry Masiko, Joint Staff Political Commissar. The other generals and seniors can also introduce themselves.
Good morning, Minister. I'm Brigadier General Abdul Gumayo. I'm the Deputy Chief of Defense, Intelligence and Security, UPDF. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. Brigadier General Engineer Bekunda. I am Joint Staff Engineering, UPDF.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I'm called Brigadier General Alex Opolot Olupot. I am the Joint Staff responsible for training and doctrine development in the Uganda People's Defense Forces. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I'm Brigadier General Godwin Karugaba, Joint Staff Logistics in Uganda People's Defense Forces.
Honorable Minister Mkanodewa Kiki, the Deputy Director, Defense Public Information.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Onesmus Samanya, Deputy Director, Pensions, Gratuity and Compensations in the Uganda People's Defense Forces.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Edebe Ngana Bienjero. I'm the head of Pension, Verification and Validation.
I'm Major Alex Biamucha. I'm from the Department of Pensions, Security and Compensation.
Thank you very much for the introductions. Director from the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs. We take everything as it is. You can see the whole ministry is here. We have all the departments that will be able to answer all the questions that the Ugandans want to know about what we are doing in that ministry. I'm excited to be here today as the minister leading the ministry, but also as a member of Central Executive Committee. So today I will be doing two work. First of all, as the party, it's an opportunity for me to see how the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs is doing. In the way I will be accounting to myself, but I'm also today giving people what, as a SEC member or as the NRM is doing in achieving what we committed to the people some 4 years ago. And it's a privilege for me today. Director, I want to thank you for this very good initiative. As a government and as NRM, we do a lot of things, but we don't have a venue to give accountability to people. Therefore, normally people ask, what is this government doing? What is the NRM doing? So this initiative that you have brought in to make sure that every sector must come and account to the people is the best thing that you have done in that directorate. So I want to thank you for that. As a background, in 2021, the government, through the NRM government, NRM Manifesto 2021-2026, stated its aspirations in transforming the Ugandan society from a low-income society to a competitive middle-income country. Specifically, the manifesto outlines the commitments to the ministry, which are in line with the constitutional mandate of UPDF, as indicated in the slides that will follow. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, as amended under Article 208, establishes the UPDF, and 209 defines the functions of the UPDF to include: 1, preserving and defending the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of Uganda. 2, cooperating with the civil authority in emerging situations and in cases of natural disasters. 3, in fostering harmony and understanding between the defense forces and the civilians, and in engaging productive activities for the development of Uganda. These are the major functions of UPDF. And today I am going to go into depth to explain to you what UPDF has done in every aspect of the function given to them, of how they have gone into details in implementing those functions that are outlined. Generally, the Ministry of Defense has registered 90% achievement in implementing the Manifesto commitments, mainly in terms of strengthening security, capability enhancements, staff welfare, infrastructure development and production. This presentation has categorized the Manifesto commitments into the following thematic areas. 1. Strengthening the internal and regional security. Ideology of Pan-Africanism, UPDF has deployed to help in the pacification of other African countries, including Somalia and South Sudan, to improve peace and facilitate trade. And I think we have done that one very successfully, and the achievements are very clearly seen. 2, continued professionalism and the modernization of the defense and security forces. The UPDF has been built through training and equipping, and as a result, Uganda is secure and peaceful. And I think I don't need any explanation in that area. You can see Ugandans, whether at night, whether at daytime. Those who want to dance throughout the night, they are dancing. Those who want to walk throughout the day, throughout the night, they do it, and they are not disturbed in any way. That is what UPDF has done. And it's a very big achievement, which sometimes the Ugandans don't look at. If you want to know the benefits of peace and security, you just cross to some of the neighboring countries. You will come back and appreciate your country. And the UPDF has done that. 2, the UPDF is built as a national army through a deliberate representative policy on recruitment through quotas per district. UPDF is a Ugandan army. It is an army that works against sectarianism, against nepotism, against all other evils. That's why when UPDF is recruiting, they have decided to have a policy of quotas, so that whenever we are recruiting the soldiers, it must be throughout the districts of Uganda, so that nobody should complain that when recruitment is taking place, it is only one region. So every quarter is given an opportunity to join the UPDF. That is how equitable the National Army of Uganda today is. When you compare to the previous soldiers of this country, you can see that UPDF is very unique and it is equitably balanced. It's not only an army of one region. I don't want to emphasize more about that. 3, the welfare of UPDF personnel. As a ministry, we have worked very hard to see how we can improve the welfare of our soldiers. 1, we have done salary enhancement. Beginning from private up to general, at least we have done something to improve the salary of the UPDF. 2, we have improved the welfare of the police and also UPDF. How do we improve the welfare of the UPDF? If you move around, you have seen that there's a better improvement in housing, there's better improvement in the schools that we have put for the children of our soldiers. We have our health centers, where even the civilians near the health centers of the UPDF, they now prefer to go to the UPDF health centers than the civilian health centers or hospitals. I just want to give you an example of Bombo. Right now, when you go to Bombo now, you see the number of civilians more than the number of the soldiers in those health centers. And it is in all the health centers of the UPDF in this country. And that is how we have improved the welfare of the UPDF, their children, their wives, and also the citizens who benefit from this. Therefore, I will also encourage the Minister of Health to continue to support us and give us more medical support, because we go beyond the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs when we are giving support, the medical support to our people. We have developed defense and security infrastructure. One, by construction of the houses. Two, construction of the defense referral and teaching hospitals, the barracks development infrastructure. All those are going on, and the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs and UPDF indeed is really doing well. That's why these days, Director, even in Parliament, you cannot hear now people comparing that the previous barracks were better than these ones here, because we now have what to sow. We have flats for our soldiers to sleep in. Not only now Mamengia Collins, if they are there, but we are in the process of trying to see that we want all of them to disappear and our soldiers should sleep in a better houses. And that is a target, and that's what we are doing. And we are doing it very well. I will speak that one with a lot of confidence, because I have a reference to point at. Director, after this, maybe I can invite you to take you around and see what we are doing, so that you don't behave like the Thomas in the Bible. Further, we have production for wealth creation and self-sustainability. How have we done this? The UPDF has in peacetime engaged in economic transformation to deal with economic security. Two, we have engineering brigade trained in railway works and has been instrumental in the rehabilitation of the Mentor Gauge Railway, and will play a role when construction of the SGR commences. Three, the National Enterprise Corporation, NEC, is also engaging in other businesses like road construction, and soon their pharmaceutical factory will start manufacturing medicines. In addition, in a joint venture, NEC would soon start making textiles and leather products that is used at their new factory at Buikwe Industrial Park. Director, if I continue to expand in every point, the day will not be enough for us. But I have invited you to come. We shall take you to some of our farms. When you see the acreages of maize that we have, you can't believe that we have this kind of farms in Uganda. Just come to Mubende. It's unbelievable. And indeed, your soldiers are doing this, which very many Ugandans don't know. Therefore, we have now reached even to the extent that we can feed ourselves as UPDF, because we grow our own food. Even if we don't buy from outside, what we have is enough to feed ourselves. And that one even has expanded to those who have retired. We still follow them, the veterans. We give them a lot of capital also to join economic transformation in this country. And those who are participating are also doing very well. Director. In strengthening the internal and security, regional security, Director, we have general security situation. When you look at the situation, the security situation in the country is general calm. However, terrorism remains the major threat. Other threats include small arms, proliferation, illegal immigration, cyber crime, the violent crime, livestock thefts, and environmental challenges, among others. These are challenges that we are aware of. That's why we are noting them here. And because we are already aware of them, we are prepared to handle them. So there's no worry. The situation is very calm. In strengthening the internal and regional security, the national borders are secure, save for the northern and western borderlines, which continue to experience spillover effects from activities of negative armed groups in South Sudan and Eastern DRC, and continue to generate inflow of refugees and asylum seekers with their attendant challenges into the country. Director, those are some of the challenges that we are aware of, and we are mentioning them here so that we are also prepared to handle them. And that's why people are still very peaceful regardless of those challenges. The UPDF maintains a proactive posture with zonal and operational deployments to deal with the threats that I have mentioned. Director, under internal security situation, the counter-terrorism operations, these are focused on combating activities of ADF, Al-Shabaab, and their regional and international affiliates. These are real challenges which are there. But the country, the UPDF, is alert to them. In strengthening the internal and the regional security, Director, we have the joint security forces which relentlessly continue to conduct preventive and disruptive operations to deny terrorists cross-border infiltration and freedom of action in the country. Since July 2021 to date, UPDF has trained and equipped over 400 counter-terrorism personnel to undertake counter-terrorism operations. The disarmament and anti-stock theft operations in Karamoja. By 2021, there was a persistent insecurity and lowness in the Karamoja region and the surrounding sub-regions due to proliferation of illegal firearms. The insecurity included livestock raids, indiscriminating killings leading to poverty and underdevelopment. There were rampant incidents of cattle theft, raids, and criminality perpetrated by the Karamojong raiders and cross-border neighbors, the Turkana and the Pokot of Kenya. On the 19th May 2023, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, issued a Presidential Executive Number 3 on disarmament and the related security measures in Karamoja, which aimed at combating insecurity in the region through Operation Salama Kwaote. As a result of implementing the Executive Order 3, there has been a significant reduction in illegal firearms and cross-border inculcations by the Turkana and Pokot from Kenya. Consequently, the security situation in Karamoja, Sebe, Teso, Acholi, and Lango sub-region has qualitatively improved due to sustained disarmament operations by the joint security forces, community mobilization and coordination, crackdown on the livestock trade commercialization, as well as border engagement between the UPDF and the Kenya Defense Forces. Effective 13th July 2021 to date, 1,279 firearms and 11,142 ammunitions have been recovered, and 55,931 livestock, that is cows, goats, sheep, and camels and donkeys, have been recovered. And the Kenya recovered and returned to the rightful owners. In addition, there has been a significant reduction in the cattle rates, illegal firearm circulation, and improvement in social service accessibility, increased community participation in the programs. You can see some of those pictures showing how our people have been working with the communities. Director, when you look at the cyber security, I think the issue of Karamoja has speak itself, because I sit in Parliament these days. I see my colleagues ask few or less questions. Indeed, there was a challenge, but because the UPDF have worked on it, the questions have reduced, and I think people are doing very well. The article activity that has just ended in Teso involved a big number of Karamojans, because that's a one group, and it was very successful. So there's no need to really explain more about this. The results are clear. When you come to the issue of cyber security operations, owing to the growing dependence on the digital technology, the country continues to be vulnerable to cyber threats. The UPDF established a cyber security unit to detect, prevent, and curtail acts of cybercrime, and has built a capacity in training, research, technology, and equipment to deal with the threats. Because this is one of the current threats the world over that all the countries face. Therefore, as a ministry, we don't sit down. We have waken up and we are handling it. And I think we are also doing well in that area. But still, we are doing more to build the capacity, because you are aware, Director, that the technology continues to change or evolves almost every day. Therefore, you cannot be satisfied with what you have. You must also continue to equip yourself and evolve with what is going on. And the UPDF is doing that. In addition, in April 2023, the ministry partnered with the government of India and established the National Forensic Science University in Jinja, which will offer courses in cyber security studies, forensic investigations, research, and information science. Director, this is a very, very, very huge achievement for this country. Very, very huge achievement. That university is going to do wonders in handling these issues. We have transnational crime. Uganda, as part of the international system, has not been spared from cases of transnational crime. These have been manifested in terms of small arms proliferation, through porous borders, human and drug trafficking, trade in wildlife, profits, counterfeit goods, smuggling, and money laundering. The UPDF continue to apply its competence to address the transnational crime. Another issue that we are handling, which I need to explain to the Ugandans, is about the Fisheries Protection Unity. Because this is where misinformation has been given to a lot of people outside the ministry. They don't know what this unit is doing, so they just try to formulate any information that they think can help them to justify doing the wrongs that they are doing in our lakes and in our rivers. By the way, I've been out of the country, but near some countries that have big rivers, So I took it within myself to ask, how do you manage it? Do you just leave it? Wherever I've been asking that question. But directly I have realized to all the countries that I've asked, they were saying we have a management to look after our lakes. China told me the same. Angola told me the same. I went somewhere, they are telling me, we have it. Why did I do that? Because many Ugandans have been blaming the Fisheries Protection Unit, putting all allegations that cannot be proved. But since when the Fisheries Protection Unit goes to our lakes, now we can have mature fish. Now we have the factories that are working, which are closed. But nobody talks about that. Instead, we are talking about harassment, we are talking about losing boats, we are talking about everything. But today, I am here to give the side of the coin of what the Fisheries Protection Unit is doing to help the Ugandans. Before 2021, the illegal fishing and smuggling of the immature fish was prevalent in Uganda, especially in Lake Victoria, Lake George, Lake Albert. The use of the undersized nets and unregulated fishing practices led to overfishing and depletion of fish stocks, especially the Nile perch, by 46%. I am aware if the Fisheries Protection Unit was not there, I don't think the baby I'm going to born will now know that there is a fish called Nile perch in Uganda. By now we would have already depleted everything and the species would have disappeared. Because by 2021, already 46% of our Nile perch had gone. And tilapia was by 38%. But to address this, UPDF through the Fisheries Protection Unit embarked on the strict enforcement. As a result, 90,900 tons of immature fish and assorted illegal fishing gears were impounded. And this is where people were alleging that my soldiers are taking their fish, are taking their nets for enriching themselves. But today I'm telling you, this is what we have done, and I'm also going to tell people, after getting all this, where we have put them. The fish, we have banned them, the nets, at least it is an open thing, which the Ugandans should understand. Because the UPDF is not protecting the fish and the lake for themselves, but it's protecting them for the citizens of this country. Cumulatively, approximately 70,000 suspects were arrested and many successfully prosecuted for dealing in illegal fishing. Indeed, this number is big. So if there was a crime, it is true. The people were arrested. That is the fact. And why were they arrested? Because they were doing illegal fishing. And another challenge why people have been saying that, why do you arrest the people in Chioga and you make them to be prosecuted in Kampala? Why do you arrest them in Lake Albert? Why don't you prosecute them in those courts? It's a law. UPDF is following a law. It's not our intention that these people must all come and be prosecuted in Kampala. But the law has specific courts where this kind of crime should be prosecuted. That's why these people have been forced to come to Kampala. It was not an intention of the UPDF, but they were just following the law. Therefore, it is the responsibility now of government, but not of the UPDF, to see whether these courts should be decentralized so that we prosecute these people where they are not arrested, but it's not the responsibility of the UPDF. So the government must take that charge, either to decentralize these courts, so that when these people are arrested, they are charged within their regions or near the districts where they are. I have taken a lot of time in this because this is now the biggest challenge all the Ugandans are talking about. As a member of SEC, this is what I am going to answer to my people. And that's why I have taken this time to explain about it. But I think when you look at also the benefits, people will understand it. And just last week, the President of the Republic of Uganda had a meeting with the ministers from the fishing communities, with also the leaders of the fishing communities. So I think this issue soon will be solved very, very amicably, and we will get a better solution. And in that meeting, the President asked, you said the UPDF is harassing you. Can I get my soldiers out? Everybody said, no, let them be there. So I think we are going to get a very, very good solution for it. And this issue will be handled very amicably. And good proposals were made there to see how we can help our fishery communities. Because one of the proposals was the government to provide a better fishing gears, should give them capital to put better boats, and many other good proposals were made. And this issue, I think, will be handled. Therefore, according to the URA statistics of 2023-2024, government earned 1 billion, government earned 1.13 billion compared to 501 million earned in 2022-2023. You can see it even doubled within a year, because now we have mature fish that we get from the lakes, and also our factories are now working. So employment opportunity has been created. This is attributed to increased export of the fish products, especially introduction of the 8% export tax on fish more. Other internal security operations, UPDF continued to reinforce the Uganda police force in providing security for the public and protection of the VIP, the security of vital installations, as well as in securing national and international events. In 2021, the joint security forces secured events such as the constituency elections, the national celebrations, the religious festivals, the regional and national summits, and many others, especially the non-aligned movement and G77 China summit that took place in January 2024. When you look at the regional security operations, obligations, we have Operation Suja. The Allied Democrat forces had carried out a number of massacres, displacing thousands and using the region as a base for terrorism. The group had intensified attacks on civilians and was linked to the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, that is Sisi, further elevating the threats level. The instability posed threats to Uganda, including cross-border attacks and recruitment efforts by the ADF targeting Ugandan terrorists. In November 2021, the UPDF, the FARDC operation against ADF in DRC Congo was launched to dismantle the ADF East and CAP centers and disrupt their supply lines. The joint operations continue to be successful, conducted in Eastern DRC, and significant achievements were made. Several ADF camps have been dismantled and the weapon that is destroyed, logistical networks weakened, and recruitment disrupted, and improved control of the DRC government in the previous ungoverned areas. The sustained pressure with the UPDF remnants have caused the group to flee to Ipul Game Reserve, north of Commander Olwa, Mambasa Road, and in areas of the provinces west of Mambasa, Beni, and the rest of the other areas. In Uganda, the DRC have continued with bilateral agreements with a view to extend the area of operation in pursuit of the enemies. Some of the pictures there show what our people are doing in that region to pacify the area. At a regional security level, we also have Artemis operations. The situation in Somalia is still fragile and unpredictable as Al-Shabaab continued to target the military and the civilian installations, as well as Artemis convoys along the main supply routes, leading to the death of innocent people and the destruction of property. The most affected areas remain Bandir, Lower Juba, Lower Sahel, and Hiran regions. Artemis and Somalia National Security Forces operations against Al-Shabaab have been maintained across the country, leading to the killing of some of the terrorists, recovery of weapons and ammunition. There has been intensified psychological and civil military operations by our own forces, facilitating defections and surrender of some Al-Shabaab mid-level commanders. Therefore, it is important to note that Artemis withdrawal is ongoing, and the African Union support and stabilization mission in Somalia will take over in January 2025. 3, at the regional level, Uganda military training do support the Equatorial Guinea. Under the bilateral agreements, the UPDF continue to support the government of Equatorial Guinea through training and mentoring of its forces. That is the beauty of your army that you have. Now it has built its capacity. It has now even built capacity to help the brothers in the other countries. Therefore, they are doing this bilateral training to train the other countries, so that they also have their capacity built. That is the army that you must admire as a country. Uganda, you must know that you have the army that you must believe in. It is the army that can protect you. It is the army that can also give support to the neighbors. Under defense diplomacy, to maintain the regional and international diplomacy, the ministry deploys defense attaches in allied and partner states all over the world, and active in the regional and international security mechanisms geared towards achieving common peace, security, and stability. Defense diplomacy is very, very important, and to succeed, the defense attaches are focal points in those countries, and the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs has taken that responsibility to do that deployment, so that we don't lack in that area, which is very key at the international arena. We do capacity and capability building of the UPDF through training and the acquisition of the equipment. The ministry undertook continued capacity and capability building of the UPDF through acquisition of equipment and training. The UPDF continued to form robust military capabilities to sufficiently avert, counter, and combat any prevalent military threats within and around the territorial borders of Uganda. Resultantly, the UPDF capability has increased in terms of firepower, deployability, command and control, troop protection, among others. Capability enhancement has been realized in the defense, weaponry, and systems inclusive of Marines, Air Force, defense, armored, and motorized infantry, and assets of SFC. You can see some of the things, the pictures there. Under recruitment, and in line with Article 208(2) of the Constitution of Uganda, 1995, as amended, the recruitment into the UPDF is done according to the district codes based on the population of each district in relation to the national population. Since 2021, the UPDF has recruited 50,523 in line with the Manifesto commitment of continuing with a deliberate policy of recruitment quarters per district. You see our people doing training there. The recruitment was done to fulfill the manpower gap due to the retirement and attrition. In history, it is in NRM government that director now officially we have a system of retirement. The soldiers join, they serve the country, and they retire to go and settle peacefully. But when you look at our history, we have so many people who call themselves ex-combatants or veterans, but they don't have certificates of discharge because they just got themselves out. This one come, another coup, it is out. The other one come, another coup, it is out. So these people didn't have an opportunity to retire harmoniously. It is only in NRM government director that now we have that system. You work and you retire. And therefore it is in NRM that you even now have a minister for the veterans. A full minister to look about the veterans. These achievements, director, that I'm giving you, you go out and you tell Ugandans what NRM government has done, which other governments did not do in this country. In training and retraining, to date, a total of 117,352 personnel have been trained and retrained both inland and abroad. The ministry conducted mission training of 11,404 personnel under battle groups, United Nations Guard units, that is UNGU, for deployment in Somalia, and troops for deployment to Equatorial Guinea. In 2022, the ministry established the National Defense College, Uganda, dedicated to providing advanced military education and strategic training to high-ranking military and civilian officials in Uganda. This is another very huge achievement. We used to send our soldiers to go and do training in other countries, but now we have our own institution here, doing a high level of training in the area of military, the strategic training. So it's another big achievement that NRM has done for this country. As at the June 2024, a total of 39 participants, first and second hot, had completed the National Security and Strategic Studies course at NDC Uganda. You'll see the pictures there, you see the training, you see the commander. All those, the commander was there to pass them after their training. You can see those pictures. Under the welfare of personnel, the salary enhancement, I had already talked about this one from the beginning. I think I was so excited, so I talked about it even without seeing the slide, because it's a good thing for our soldiers, and they deserve it. And we have done it, and we still continue to do it. Therefore, my soldiers outside there, you know that your government cares for you. They know you are doing a good job, but they are also taking your responsibility to see that you also have a better life and your families. About the health services, I have already talked about it. You can see the pictures there, the facilities we have, what we are doing. About the education, I have already talked about it. We are also improving. We also want our pupils to do well in PLE results, in UCE, in USCE, and UCE. When you look at that table, you see that progressively we are also improving. We have our schools that are also passing pupils or students in Division 1, and we are also doing very well in those. We still have some challenges, but we are improving. We have challenges of infrastructure, the schools, the classroom blocks. We don't have many of them, but we are doing well in seeing that all those structures must improve. In terms of teachers, the UPTF has trained very many teachers. We have enough in terms of human capability or capacity. We already have enough teachers. We will not go to government to borrow that you give us teachers to come and teach in our schools. But what we can do is to ask government to build our schools. We need the infrastructure. And in infrastructure development, over the years, the ministry has constructed, renovated, established a number of defense and security infrastructure in the areas of accommodation, health facilities, training schools, and storages. The ministry has constructed 670 housing units aimed at improving the living condition of personnel across the UPD. It's not enough. What we need is more than this, but at least we have started. It's a sign that it's a priority in that area, and we will continue to progressively build more of those units. And infrastructure, the training schools, we have training schools that we have built. When you look at Uma Kabamba, we have accommodations there. When you look at NTCU, we have the central lecture halls, DS offices, and the number of houses at the War Game Center in Kimaka, dormitories at the school. These are all our training schools. So we are trying to put what is needed there, the infrastructure needed in those schools, so that they are at the national level standards and international level standards. Because we also use those schools to get other, our brothers and sisters from other countries who also come and train with us. Therefore, we want our schools to be at that level of international level. And that's what we are trying. And infrastructure, we have, since 2021-2022, 10 new brigade headquarters were constructed. There are too many. I cannot go all this. We have solar power installation in the barracks because we want to reduce that challenge. You know, we are government to government, but there's sometimes a challenge. You see the people of Meme slapping us with huge amount of money for Meme. We have huge amount of money from water and national, but this is government to government working. But when you see the amount of money that we have to pay to get these services, as a ministry we are trying to improvise a means of reducing those costs. That's why you see us going to solar power to reduce some of those expenses. And those are ongoing projects that we are working on as a ministry. The ministry has procured equipment for engineering brigade to enhance their capacity to undertake the various projects. The equipment procured was for road construction, water drilling design, and documentation. The ministry's engineers brigade has over 3,149 personnel with various qualifications and skills in engineering discipline, which is one of the necessary equipments before taking infrastructure projects. Director, this is very, very huge for you. The ministry has built its capacity. These 3,149 personnel are now professionals in the area of engineering to do all the work. So, those people can now do any engineering project in this country. Even if we don't use other companies, the government cannot lack. We have enough. But because we also want to work together, we make sure that the private sector must also thrive. Otherwise, Engineers Brigade can do all the projects of government now, and very successfully. The construction of MDA projects by the UPDF Engineers Brigade, they are so many, and then since that time we have 354 projects that have been undertaken, with 190 completed and 154 ongoing as shown below. The table is there. You can see the wonderful construction of Entebbe International Airport by the Engineers Brigade. You can see the renovation in Nambole, Engineers Brigade. We don't now need the international companies to come and do this. The country has built its capacity. Really, maybe we don't know what we have, but today I'm here to tell the Ugandans and the world what we can do as a country, how far we have gone in building our capacity. All those ones are there, Director, for you. The constructions, the renovations that we are doing, the pictures are there, the locations of the sites are there. The doubting Thomases can get their time and visit those places and prove for themselves that what I'm saying is the truth. When you look at promoting production for wealth creation and sustainability, the ministry has engaged in productive activities through its commercial entities for socio-economic development and self-sustenance of forces pursuant to Article 209 of the Constitution of Uganda as amended. The National Enterprise Corporation, NEC, Construction, Works and Engineering Limited, has a subsidiary NEC has been engaged in several construction activities, which include the rehabilitation of 202.8 kilometer stretch on the Namave-Malaba railway station. The construction works for Tororo-Gulu line is ongoing. The Ministry of Works and Transport procured and contracted NEC for the opening of the security roads in Karamoja sub-region. The security roads stretching from Kakiloro and Nakut, Nenkoten, Loyoro, 80 kilometer, Loyoro, Lopedo, Turuturu, 50 kilometer with a total length of 138 kilometer have been worked on. The site has taken over in the April 2023 and the works are 80% complete to date. The 138 stretch consists of entirely the new opened roads that was done as a national security intervention to curtail cattle rustling in the Karamoja sub-region. This is what we are doing there. Under the framework contracts with UNRWA, for 5 years, NEC has procured to undertake mechanized maintenance of unpaved roads in the central region. They include Ngoma, Changwaz, 15 kilometers, Ngoma, Kasozi, Chamkondo, Luka, Kalangala, 32 kilometers, and Kalangala, Mulabana. The NEC, working with the China Railway, 7th Group, has mobilized for the rehabilitation of the Karuma-Olio Road section, 43.5 kilometers. This one, I use it every weekend when I'm going to West Nile. The renovation of Lumumba Hall, students, residents, and Makerere. The OBs and OGs, you can go back and see what NEC has done in your hall, because this is just a nearby here. There's the extension of the clinic at Uganda, various research institutes. We have the renovation of the State House in Tebe. Yeah, when you go there, it's now very beautiful and white. Those are facts. When you look at the refurbishment of the NEC pharmaceutical production plant located in Bugolobi, Kampala, on the Malwana Road, the civil works was completed. The procurement process for the supply and installation equipment has commenced. The rehabilitation of the 62-kilometer section of the Olio-Pakwach Road is still ongoing, and the works stand at 70% completion. We have the construction of Arua Electoral Commission regional offices. This one I'm also eyewitness. There's construction of Kira vehicle plant facilities. In addition, the Kira Motors Corporation, working with NEC, is assembling diesel and electric buses. This is a huge achievement for this country that we can now make our own. NEC entered into a joint venture with the MMP Industrial Park, Buikwe Limited, to set up a manufacturing facility for the military textiles and shoes. Construction of the factory and installation of the machinery was completed, and trial production is ongoing. Commissioning of the factory is expected before the end of the 2024 calendar year. In addition to the above projects, NEC participates in other primary and secondary product activities through NEC Uzima. We have NEC Street Limited, NEC Farm Katonga Limited, Choga Dymex Limited, Proheli International Limited, NEC Agro, SMC Limited, Luere Industries Limited, and NEC Security Limited. There are some of those pictures that are there to show what NEC is doing, what the ministry is doing. There are those security roads there you can see. Still under promotion, under promoting production for wealth creation and self-sustainability, Uganda Air Cargo Corporation, His Excellency the President directed the revamping of USCC to enhance exportation of the agricultural products and for strategic airlift for the ministry. As part of revamping USCC, a joint venture between Ministry of Defense and Alpha MBM Company of United Arab Emirates was signed on 22nd May 2024, where Alpha MBM will provide 7 aircrafts, starting with 3 in the first year. The shillings 46 billion was allocated in the financial year 2021-2022, 2022-2023 to boost USCC, which enabled revival, including clearance of the various outstanding applications and the repair of the ground air assets, hence improving the corporation's efficiency and effectiveness in its operation. Under research and development, you see those pictures of what we are doing there. Luero Industries, we have those machines for carpentry. Still in Luero Industry, you can see we can make now our own vehicles and assemble them in the pictures. Under Luero Industries, you can see research and development, some of those products that we are researching on and developing in this country. Under Luero Industry, you can see that we can now be able to repair our air flights here. When you come out to reducing dependence of the military veterans, in 2014, all the UPD officers and the militants that retire are paid their retirement package and pension in full and on time. Because we have the system. The day they retire, the person already has his package of the pension and the gratuity. He knows the amount he has in gratuity. He also knows the pension is going to get monthly. That is the beauty. However, about 68,000 veterans that retired before 2024, including those that went under the reduction in forces exercise of the period 1992-1994, are being handled as follows. And this is where the challenge is. When you hear some cries outside there, this is only where the area is. Because when you look at the policy that time, the reduction in forces, these people were just, because first of all, it was not our only policy. It was a policy imposed to the country to be implemented. So the people were just pushed out, not formally. So these are the people you hear the voices now. Wherever you go, when you hear about the veterans complaining, it is this group that is complaining. But we are handling them. When you look at the data that I'm giving you here, as of now, the group from 1992-94, we have 15,498 cases that have been paid. This year, people were paid. When we say cases, it means they are files, they were verified, the persons got their money, worth 163,583,872,251. This money has been used to pay this group of veterans. And the cases yet to be paid, but we have already verified them. Now we are waiting for money from Ministry of Finances, 14,535. These ones, we know where the people are. We have their files. We have computed how much each person is supposed to get. But we are waiting for money for them to be paid. Then we have 37,966 cases unclaimed. In 2010, the ministry took an exercise. They moved throughout the country to do a verification, to look for where these people are. So people put their files, people came in with so many other things. But now we are doing a proper verification. These people have not indicated that they are there. The files are there, it's in complete file, but nobody is also coming to claim that this is my file. I can now do ABCD to make this file complete. This is another group of people that we are still looking for. And if there are some outside there, let them come and complete the fulfillment of their files so that they will be ready for payment. And we have the ex-combatants. When you look at that picture, we had ex-combatants from West Nile, that is the West Nile Bank front. They were paid, around 5,000 of them. Those ones are already paid. We are still looking for other groups that we are going to pay. So the issues of veterans, sometimes people are raising many of those issues because they don't know exactly what it is. But when you come to them, you ask the questions, when they understand, they know where to start from. But our doors are open. Any veteran who is outside there must come and pay. But another clarity that I want to give, in this country, the veterans are divided into two. We have the civilian veterans, who also have a complete minister under Prime Minister's office. That is my sister, Honorable Alice, looks at the civilian veterans and is responsible for all civilian veterans in this country. Then under Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, we look for the military veterans. So these are two clear group of people, but sometimes people don't know. They confuse these people outside there, but the veterans themselves know. Those who are veterans, who are civilian veterans, they know where to go to. And most of them are under Luero Triangle. The military veterans, they almost cover the whole country, and these are people who had touched the gun, who had trained, who had fought. So there's a clear distinct that the country needs to know, so that when you want to claim or when you want to have an authority to talk about the veterans, you really talk with the informed view, so that you will be helped to answer what you want to know. When you look at production, you can see those under food production, as I earlier said, that we can now be able to pay, we can be able to feed ourselves as a ministry, even if we don't buy outside, because now we grow a lot of food. When you look at those graphs there, or the table there, you look at the quantity. When we joined, and every season the quantity that we have been producing, especially maize, and the total quantity now we have produced in less than 3 years. That is the amount of maize that we have produced, and we continue to expand. Now even we have equipment. When you look at those combined harvesting maize, NEC has them. You see the farms there, the people in the farm. We even do packaging, because we almost start from the beginning up to the end. We do the value additions also ourselves. We grow the maize, we harvest, we dry, then we process, and we pack. And it is ready for international market. By the way, we are preparing, we already have some link with the other countries that they want us to provide for them, and we are going to do it, and we will do it very successfully. regardless of all those, we also have unmet challenges, unmet targets. Like the construction units, we were given a target for this time frame, but we have not achieved that target. Our only hope is we have started. So if we get more money, we will really achieve that target. The only challenge has been the money. So that is an unmet target, which we are looking to see how to do it successfully if funds are there. Our unmet target is the completion of the defense referral and the teaching hospital. But that one is now, I don't know, anyway, it's good we put it there. For me, I've almost concluded that now that one we are done. Because last week I was there. That hospital is going to do wonders, and I think it's going to be the best in this country because it can treat any person, whichever title you are, that hospital will be able to treat you. So, but we are almost there. We can put unmet because now we need procurement. But the structure, we have finished. What we just need now to equip it with the machines. That's why it is as unmet. Then we have the recapitalization of Uganda Air Cargo Corporation. That is a huge challenge for us. And we are very hopeful with this partnership, the new partnership that we are beginning, that soon we will take off. But it's a challenge. It's an unmet target. It was given to us, but we are still dwindling with it. Another unmet target is the unpaid 14,535 retirement backlog cases, which I talked of earlier. That one we need money to clear them, so that we completely sort out the issues of the challenges of the veterans. Our challenges, the security threats are continuous challenges which are there. We have a challenge of funding. We want to do more, but funds have limited our capacity in achieving what we want to achieve. The other challenge is the increased tempo of military operations. Due to increase in the tempo of the operations, especially in Karamoja and the Eastern DRC, there is increased pressure on the budget and the other resources. Another challenge is inadequate housing and accommodation. Yes, for our people, for our soldiers. The ministry continues to face shortage of housing and accommodation for the UPDF officers and militants who continue to reside in makeshift houses, affecting morale, welfare, and efficiency of our people. That is a challenge that is there. The other challenge is still the effect. The COVID-19, the budget had to be reprioritized to combat the pandemic. It affected us seriously. Where we had planned, the plans had to change. Another challenge is the Russia-Ukraine war. We live in a global village, so that is still a challenge for us. This caused increase in the prices for food products. Therefore, Director, in conclusion, one of the main NRA Manifesto commitments to Ugandans is peace and security, which acts as a foundation for socio-economic transformation. 2, therefore, the ministry has continued to undertake the commitments of the NRM government in the Manifesto for 2021-2026, as shown above. The whole country is peaceful and secure, and as a result, Ugandans have been able to go about their business without fear of insecurity from within or outside the country. The UPDF has been supported to undertake its constitutional mandate and implement the directives of His Excellency the President, issued from time to time as the Commander-in-Chief of the UPDF. However, Director, there are some challenges that affect the implementation of the commitment, as mentioned above. By the end of the manifesto period, the ministry will have delivered 95% overall of its commitment. This is because the highlighted and meant commitments will be handled as follows. The referral hospital will be completed within this year. The unpaid pension backlog cases will have been paid by the end of the manifesto period. Housing accommodation for soldiers will have been partially addressed. I thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you very much. Director, if you need more, you just tell me. We decided just to pick few of them in that ministry to give the nation. Otherwise, we have done more than what we have given for you. Just because we use the template you gave us. But if you had given us that we bring you the achievements, the whole day will not be enough for us to give you what we are doing in that ministry. For God and my country.
So, please join me to give a very big applause to the Honorable Minister for this wonderful presentation. Honorable Minister, I want to say that I have to keep to the rules of requesting you to share the kind of commitments that we put down and which we wanted your sector to perform. And you have really done your best to tell us how far we have gone. So I couldn't bring in to change the rules along the way. You could have raised the question that how do I start on this since they are not part of the commitments that we have with you. I also know you do a lot. It is of classified nature, which is for the protection of our country. Thank you so much, and I hope all of our viewers, wherever you are, whether on mainstream, I am aware we are mainstreaming through UBC. Is NBS here? It was supposed to be part of the live streaming team, but I know YouTube and all other social media outlets are really picking this information. And our frontline officers, the RDCs, and the rest of the leadership teams at the local government are also picking some of this information that is very relevant to their jurisdictions and also sharing with the citizens at that level. Allow me now to make observations, Honorable Minister, from the Manifesto monitoring team perspective. First of all, we want to applaud the sector and the players for keeping our territorial integrity. I think now the country is totally peaceful and there are no insurgencies. There is no war in any part of the country, and that means the sector has been able to lift its expectations, and the contract that we made with Ugandans, that NRM and the government that will form thereafter will keep the country secure. We also want to applaud the fact that we continue to witness discipline that is being exhibited by our soldiers, and most of the time being people-centered. And you know, this is a civilian government, and whatever the government has been championing has been how do we make our people better. So the soldiers sharing that ideology and moving together with the intentions of the government makes the work of the government very easy. The team also wants to note and applaud the sector and through the team by having a productive force, that we have an army which has been very, very productive. And this means that we have not only been prepared for combat operations, but we have also been very, very productive in supporting the economy. And I will highlight a few areas where we have been very active. The support in the epidemic fights. You remember you were at the front line of this, in the distribution of food when we were attacked by COVID. We also had some of your medical personnel participating in this cause. So the country and the group needs to know that you are very, very supportive in that area. Secondly, you are very supportive in the disaster issue that hit the country, the issue of floods, the issue of locusts. All these, we witnessed UPDF being at the front line of helping with other sister agents and the civilian institutions in fighting these issues. We have also seen you from time to time in support of the wealth creation programs through the distribution of inputs and other related enforcements that have led to the growth of the economy. Agriculture has now become, when you look at the contribution of the agriculture to the economy, we also witnessed our coffee, which I think you have also been at the center of providing inputs, going up, and many other sectors of the economy coming up because of some of these participations. And we want to salute the sector because through these areas I have talked about, we have seen the economy performing well in terms of food production. You know, this is an area which largely contains our inflation, and that means the country is food secure, people can eat and be able to go on with their work in a very, very sustainable way. We salute the efforts that have been displayed here in the interventions by the engineering brigade. That is in the areas of construction and other contractual obligations of that nature. But there is also the NEC area, which is part of manufacturing and part of industrialization agenda for this country. This does not only bring the products on the market, but also, in a way, supports import substitution. Because if these things were not made here, we would still have the obligation to import them and would be spending. And that also sorts our balance of payment. So we cannot ignore that fact unless if you are blind. You know where I come from, there used to be a popular blind man called Mutere. So if you would not see something that is obvious, they would say, even Mutere can see this, the blind man. Even Mutere, the blind man can see this. You who is seeing normally, why can't you be able to see this? And I think that's what the Honorable Minister was trying to use, but for her she went scripture by talking about the doubting Thomases. I think it's in the Bible where the doubting Thomases are being emphasized. So we want to salute that through these efforts of being a productive force, there is a way how the economy has been supported in its growth. We want to salute the efforts, as the Minister highlighted, on the peace restoration efforts in Karamoja. This had been a problem that had been there for many years, and we want to thank the NRM for being brand and taking it on. Because maybe the past governments used to have their own fears, but I think this government has taken it on, and we can now see peace being enjoyed by the Karamojong people. And many of you who are not aware, this is one of the areas, I think one of the, where we have a lot of wealth, underground minerals. Yesterday we had the sector of energy and minerals here, and it was showing us the geophysical maps. And when you look at that specific area, So it was very, very important that this area is secured so that we can allow economic growth take off, and then and also make that part of the country be part of the larger economy of the country. We want to thank you for keeping our forces smart. In terms of clothing, the uniforms, the shoes, really, this is commendable. We pray that this goes on, because I think that also supports self-esteem of our combatants. However, the observations we had are the same you had on the challenges, the housing challenges as part of your unmet targets. I think it's important that if you could get us the statistics of how many units were you intending to put up and how far have you gone on this journey. It would make Ugandans a bit more, being more precise with the agenda and the target. The same applies to pension backlogs. It's good you have given the figures, and now we can be able to know that out of the 14,000 plus figures, if budget allows, we can be able to reduce this immensely. The other issue is I think in the manifesto they were talking about where you should also be part of the champions of the industrial and research development journey in this country. I don't know how far we have gone on this, whether you have initiated any actions towards this direction, or whether you are partnering with our Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation to ensure that this is effected. And I think this is supposed also to be a basis for many other issues beyond combat-related aspects. So those are observations as the Manifesto Monitoring Unit, and we want to join the Minister to celebrate the achievements that have been recorded here. So please join me once again to applaud those achievements. Now I want to invite you, members of the media, this is the time to raise your issues as far as that sector is concerned, and there is no harm also to be as appreciative as I am, or if it is necessary. Thank you so much for now. Go ahead. Your name, Media House.
Thank you so much. My name is Ivan Kahwa. I work with UBC, and I specialize in crime and investigation. I appreciate the Minister for the good presentation, and I think I concur with you on many of the grounds, because I've had an opportunity to operate with the UPDF on many operations. Now, from the report you've revealed to us today, I am going to focus on the issue of cyber security. We all understand that today, anything to do with internet and how fast it's growing, there are a lot of challenges associated with them. While I also understand that it is key in as well as guarding the safety of how we look at the infrastructure, specifically ICT, I am poised to ask a question. When you created the cybersecurity unit, how then does a local Ugandan benefit from that unit? But I wish you give me a response in regard to financial fraud, because I think now that has eaten up a lot of Ugandans, and I believe you also this, it's open. Many people are stealing money online. And if you tell me UPDF has a unit specifically to deal with that, we want to understand how you work with other security agencies like police and other entities. Now, the second point is the fisheries sector. I also appreciate that you've done a lot in the fisheries sector, despite many of the challenges that still remain, what the audience always tells us when we have gone to get information. I need a rational explanation why then do you ban immature fish? Are there any other avenues on how we can, because I believe this is a delicacy, it's rich in proteins. Why do we have to ban it? Can't we take it to street kids, maybe to support other people, something like that? I want to understand, how then does that solve? You ban tons and tons of fish, how does it solve the problem? Can't we have other mechanisms? Then lastly, I know for security reasons, the number of personnel for the UPDF is not always made clear, but from your presentation, I saw where you said 117,352 personnel were trained and retrained both inland and abroad. I don't know, does this represent partly the capacity of the UPDF? Because I am aware it's always 50,000 or 45,000 and about 3,000 including the reserve forces. I beg to submit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next. When I saw that figure, there was training and retraining. So it could be repeated training, especially when you are dealing with specialized nature of trainings. Honorable Minister, I'm sorry, I'm not the minister and I don't work in defense, but just simple interpretation. I hope I've not interpreted it wrongly. So next, anybody else? Are you so happy with the presentation that no question? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Director. I'm called Nelson Kiva. I write with the New Vision. My question goes
to which media house?
I write with the New Vision, Director. Yes, mine. First of all, I want to thank the Minister for the good presentation and the scores so far registered by our defense forces. Mine is about the veterans. Like, how much do we need in terms of money to clear the 14,535 and the other 35, the other 37,000 unclaimed? How much is needed to pay these people? Then when we go to Operation Suja, I remember the defense spokesperson has always provided the media with the progress about this operation. How many of the terrorists so far have been eliminated? Because that figure you have always provided it. How many people have been eliminated? And how many people have been rescued since this operation started? Thank you very much.
Okay. That is of a wider security interest. But from a manifesto perspective is that we must make sure that our country is secure. And as an output, for us to give a tick, because those people can never disturb us. Now, I think a kick is here. You will guide on that. Can I say from you, our media? Oh, Honorable Minister, allow me to welcome my Honorable Member of Parliament who entered here when I had not noticed him. Is that Honorable Ola? Or? Please come and join us here. I think you were ushered in a wrong place. Do you still represent UPDF in Parliament? A former.
Representing NEC.
Oh.
So come and get your.
Please, Honorable, come and be here. As we are celebrating the achievements of NEC, you cannot. By the time they get to you there, they will have become their youth. So you need to be near and receive them strong. So thanks for coming. Are we done? Yeah. So before I invite you, Honorable Minister, to make your responses, this is to say that you are at liberty to invite any of your invite any of your team members to support you in whatever response you want. Secondly, After that, I think that will mark the closure, and then we guide accordingly. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. I have also seen my colleague, the SEC member, who is also your stakeholder, Mr. Kwaheo. He is here. Yes. James Kwaheo is the SEC member representing workers, and I know he also works with you. So I want to take this opportunity. I hope my technical people, you were noting down these questions. I'm not going to say this one, you answer this.
Minister, let me disrupt a bit. I think you are needed here for purposes of streaming. So I invite you to the podium. The main media which is streaming will pick you better from here. And Ugandans would like to listen to your responses.
I'm going to invite my technical people to answer some of these questions, but I want to thank the media team for asking those wonderful questions. And I also want to thank you, Director, for those kind words of comment, and it gives us more energy to do more when we appreciate the little that has been done. You talked about one of our cardinal role in the manifesto was research and development. We are doing something on that area under NEC. NEC, we have in fact already established our center. We are just trying to see what more we can do in that area, but it's something we have started, only that not much has been done. So, Mr. General Retired, can you say something on that? At what level are we in the area of research?
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Just as you said earlier, most of the things that this ministry has done is not all brought here. NEC has so far is constructing a state-of-the-art center for research and development through Luero Industries. And currently the research center is about 60%. And we believe that by the mid next year we shall have a fully fledged Center for Research and Development. Thank you.
So that is how far we have gone. We are almost completing the construction of that center, so that more of our research will be done in that area. Ivan, you talked about the cyber security. First of all, it is true you have noted it. It's a challenge. So you said now we have put a center. What is that? What is the benefit of that center to the local person? General.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
You can also take the benefit of introducing yourself again and answer the question.
Once again, I'm Brigadier General Abdul Gumayo. I'm the Deputy Chief of Defense Intelligence and Security of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. As explained in our presentation, cyber security, yes, thank you very much for recognizing it is a very big problem in the country, and we have already taken steps as defense and intelligence and security to ensure that we put up a center, and this center is not like a training center that people will come to train there, but we are working with other agencies of the government to ensure that we cooperate, because technology is evolving and there are a lot of things which are taking place. We need to protect our infrastructure. We need to protect our defense equipments and the rest. So the center is not an open center for training, but we have been doing a lot of activities, especially working with the National Financial Agency in areas of fraud. Many of you could have seen, especially when it comes to issues of technical competencies. Even in civil-related cases, we have been assisting the police, the courts of law. So we are doing a lot, but this is not an open center where we will come and maybe train, but this is a center which is working with other government agencies, especially the National Financial Agency, and we are progressing well. We think that at the end of the day, most of the countries are secured by national defense systems. We think if we improve our cyber security capabilities, we shall be able to protect this country from a lot of threats that come along that way. That's what I can give from the perspective of the Cyber Security Center, which is at the Defense Intelligence and Security Headquarters. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
It is true, our people have been conned, many, and to make it worse, even that woman in that village who have their small circle, the village circles, these people follow them and pick their money. And there are these ones, they call them, there's some structure, they see this, that when you put money here, it continues to multiply. In a year, you can become a billionaire or a trillionaire. So people use their money in that area. But as this is a national security fiber, it's now the responsibility of the Minister of Defense to coordinate with other institutions, as my general has answered. We have the financial institution, we have police, we have many other security organs that are working in that area. And we have just started on this. We continue to build it. I think it is going to help us to handle some of these issues. So that that village in Kisoro there, where that lady has her money, these people should not follow and get out that money. And this theft has not only been among the illiterate, even the elite have suffered more because they have the phones that and they get the message through the phones, and it's a big challenge. It's noted and it will be worked on. That's why the center is already there. And as he has said, the center will not be seen like this building, but everybody will come to it. These are security issues. But what we are saying is it is there to protect the people. Yes, that one has been answered. And then you said about the ban of the immature fish. I think it would have been the worst mistake. I don't know how much delegations would go if the UPDF had loaded a lorry of the mature fish and they are taking. They have not done, but you see what people are talking about them. That would mean we're encouraging these people. At least when we get the fish and it is banned, and people see it banned, they will know that really this is a problem, other than getting it here and giving it to another person there. People will say it is still, it has a use. That's why really it has to be banned to show that this is wrong, and it has to be done in the eyes of the people to show that the UPDF is not stealing your fish. This is a bad kind of fish. It has to be banned. It hurts, but to put things right, we must take some of these decisions so that people see that the right thing is this one and this should be done. That's why the fish is banned. But even in banning, even myself, I said, I wish. But Yeah, you have no option. It has to be the way it is, so that people change and they allow the fish to grow and they get the better fish that can fetch them good money and where they can also get better nutrition. That's why it is banned. And then about the training, is that what reflects what we have? Retraining and training. Director almost answered it, but please, General, you answer that question.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. My name again is Brigadier General Alex Olupot. I am the Joint Staff responsible for training and doctrine in the UPDF. Mr. Ivan was concerned about the figure we posted as a figure having been trained over a period of 4 years. And he was wondering whether this would reflect the strength of the UPDF or the capacity of the UPDF. I think I want to give a plain answer, no, and want to explain what that figure represents or how it is arrived at. On an annual basis, we undertake training programs, and those training programs cover various levels of command and control of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. So when we do conduct training, you find that the lowest soldiers are trained at their level, they benefit from that. The middle soldiers are trained at their level and they benefit from that. The junior officers, the senior officers, and also the generals. So on an annual basis, when we take stock of those training programs or those who benefit, it gives us what we train on an annual basis. But you'll also appreciate that within 1 year, you may find that some people repeat those courses because these are progressive courses intended to develop the soldiers, to allow them climb in the ladder of proficiency and be able to create in them the capacity to function as effective Uganda People's Defense Forces officers and men. And so over a period of 4 years, the figure you are reflecting at 117,000 is a cumulative figure. But even when it is cumulative, it is also repetitive. And so it wouldn't be appropriate to use that figure to imagine the capacity of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I submit.
But really, should we indicate everything to show to the world that that is our, really? At least that figure was enough. You can't give all those details, my brother. But what we are showing is we are doing something in that area, just to show to the Ugandans that your soldiers are trained in that area, and it's a very good thing to do. This one, is it? You said you are Mukibi?
Nelson.
Your name?
Nelson Kiva from the New Fisheries.
Nelson.
Yes.
Nelson wants to know how much is needed to clear around 14,000 files ready for payment. We need 133 billion 844 million 82,488 Ugandan shilling to clear that number of the people. For the 35 or 38 that were say unclaimed, we cannot give them figure because they are not there. We allocate figure according to a file that is already verified. We know the person is there and he worked for this number of years. He retired at this time. By the time he retired, they were getting a salary per month at this. Then we use that formula to calculate. So for this one, it's just something like somebody, it's a file which is completely not known. When our people are moving around, somebody, maybe, I don't know, they had put, Richard, this is a soldier. That's just remained. There's nothing that shows that Richard was a soldier. He worked maybe in UA, or he worked in NRA, he worked for these years, he retired on this day. Richard, his name is that there, but there's nothing that shows this is Richard. So we cannot now allocate a figure for that kind of a fine, unless we verify and we know that this is you and this the amount owed to you. So we cannot give a figure for that. A figure, that's what was said, and director was also trying to find out, is that what you are looking for? Or the housing target. Can I say PS? PS? How many are we supposed to build?
Thank you, Minister. The target was 30,000 units. And we have so far done about 800 to 1,000, which is planned in this financial year. And like you rightly said, the challenge is funding. Thank you.
So, Director, in terms of the capability of the human professional to build the house, we have. Also in terms of at least having some equipment to build the houses, we have not much, at least it could make some of us to move. But our biggest challenge has been funding yet. But we have started. The good thing is we have started. So the more funds we have, the more we shall continue to achieve. That's why we have put it as an unmet target. I think these were questions that were asked. Is there any question we have not answered?
Yes, Honorable. There is a question you've not answered. I'm here, Ivan Kawa, UBC. The one for banning immature fish. Yes.
I answered. I answered the question. I said it had to be banned. We know it is immature, it can be eaten, but to sow the right thing, it has to be banned, and it had to be banned in open. We would take it to Camprinsa for those people to be eaten. Then our people would say, no, what are you doing? You are getting the fish from us, and you are giving it for people to eat here. To show that this is a bad practice, it has to be banned, so that they understand that really this is a practice that must stop. That's why we are banning it. We know it is delicacy. But to put things right, let's ban it. People see that the small fish I picked from the lake has been done. So when I'm going back to the lake, I must go with the right the net, so that I catch the right fish, the right needed size. They must know that there are times in the year where we must not be in the lake or the rivers, so that the fish produces. There's technicality in that the Minister of Agriculture will explain to you more.
Honourable Minister, there was a question on Shuja. I just want to give a few highlights and then pass over to the Deputy Defense Intelligence and Security. Number one, we have to agree that the war we are fighting in Congo, or the joint operations under Shuja, is an asymmetric warfare. Asymmetric is what is opposed to conventional. So therefore, we keep picking these terrorists here and there, and the best way to give figures on how many we have killed or captured is always in phases. As you know, Operation Shuja has been put in 2 phases. We had phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, now we are in phase 4. The first 3 phases were in areas of Rwenzori, Irumu, Mwalika Valley, Semlik. Now we have moved to Mombasa. That is quite far from these other areas where we were fighting from. And when we did phase 1, 2, and 3, we gave a figure of 519 terrorists who were killed, and those captured, and those who were those who defected. And by yesterday, we were able to give a total number of 178 who were now rehabilitated, together with some foundation, Bridgeway Foundation, and under the Defense and Intelligence. I think at the moment, that is the area we can look at. Maybe when we come up to another phase now, for example, the completion of phase 4, if we have cleared the areas of Mombasa and we are moving forward, or we have been given authority by the Congolese government after the reviews which we have been doing to move on, we shall bring out other figures. But this, since our biggest source of information is intelligence, I would request the Deputy Chief Intelligence to add on that.
Thank you. With your permission, Honorable Minister, yes, I will not maybe add a lot, but just to emphasize a few things, that that operation overall is not evaluated on figures, but it is evaluated on what is reflected on the ground. You remember, by 2021, we had ADF camps in Bunduguya, Mwalika. Those were a few kilometers from the border. And this information has already been given. We are able to remove these terrorists from those places. And as I talk now, we have about 3 groups which are marauding far away from our border. One group is about 300 kilometers from the border, another one is about 150, another one is about 120 kilometers for the border. And this is now the advantage which we can talk about. What should we look at as the key achievement, not only for Uganda alone, but also for the area where ADF has been killing people. Now in Eastern DRC, we have schools, we have medical activities, and we have people going back to their cocoa farms. For those who may not have known the statistics of September 2024 in terms of foreign exchange earning to Uganda. In East Africa, DRC now is topping all the East African communities. We are trading in negative in Kenya. We are trading negative in Tanzania. We are only trading in surplus with the DRC, and this one would not have been possible if we had not removed that threat and taken it 390 kilometers from the border. When you go to DRC, DRC has now asked the United Nations forces to move away from DRC in the areas where we are, because all the IDP camps that were there have closed and people have gone back to their homes. And that is because of UPDF operations in those areas. So there are a lot of achievements which we should look at, not at figures only, but cumulatively, yes, now we can talk of about more than 664 terrorists, ADF terrorists killed. But why do we not engage and emphasize on figures? Because as you kill 2, they abduct 10 and they train. So this is a circle. That's why we are working very hard with the FRDC, the forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, to ensure that we finish this problem. We have also rescued very many of these Congolese, especially we are talking about 500 rescued. We are, yesterday we returned many of these who ran away from the battlefield, and we give them skills, as the spokesperson has told you. We have now retrained about 180, and out of these 105 are Congolese, 2 from Burundi, and about 71 from Uganda. You can see we are not talking about forces from Uganda alone, we are talking about the region. So these statistics are there, and I want to pledge that we are going to work with the Office of Information, and an update is given. Maybe, Honorable Minister, with your permission, I want to add something small on why do we ban fish. Someone can ask me, since we started operations in Karamoja, we have recovered over 40,000 rifles. Over 40,000 rifles. And these are very good rifles which shoot and kill, but we do not bring them for use. We ban them. So the purpose of ensuring that a bad practice, I'm supporting my minister, a bad practice is eradicated. You do not reuse the issues, because you are going to, next time we shall be using a contraband. They say that, but these drugs can chew 50%, and then you start using. So we must make sure that bad practices are not allowed to proliferate into the population. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I really also want to take this opportunity to thank our president and thank the president of DRC Congo for that initiative. The two countries working together has more advantages. The advantages, as my general said, are beyond the security advantages. The economic advantages are now more in terms of trade. He has explained it very well. So, and that is benefit of East African community. Our presidents working together, that harmony gives opportunity for the ordinary citizen to benefit. When you look at our markets at the border, especially the one in Congo, no, the one in Kasese here, it has now become a very big, it was closed, but now it has been opened. It's a very, very big market that many people benefit from both sides, from Uganda and also from DRC Congo. I think we have done justice to these questions, and Director, at your time, we might have taken more of your time, but you forgive us. As I said from the beginning, for us this was an opportunity, at least for us today, to blow off or to blow out that we are doing. We have also been eagerly waiting for this time, that at least people must also know what we are doing. Because sometimes they say, but what are they doing? What are they doing? Apart from seeing the soldiers on the uniform, they think that is all. But we do beyond that one there. And therefore, I want to thank you for this opportunity again. I want to take this opportunity to invite my general. That one has so many things to do. That's why he's here. In fact, he works directly with you at the political commissariat, at least to say a word. And also, we close the chapter and we leave the space for the next group to come in if they're there.
Once again, for those who were not here at the beginning, I am Major General Henry Masiko, Joint Staff Political Commissariat. I just want to use this opportunity given to me by the Honorable Minister to thank the Directorate of Manifesto for the opportunity to use the words of the Minister to allow us blow our own trumpet. And the biggest was in her opening to say, so far we are well over 90% on the commitments for securing the future in the sector of defending the country and the people with their property, and also laying the foundation for the flourishing of other sectors, because defense is about ensuring we have territorial integrity and sovereignty of the population. So without that, nothing else. As you know, as the Minister indicated, there are vivid cases where the two are not there to talk about the territorial integrity and sovereignty of a nation. Once those are absent, then you can't talk about any other achievement. There is only one American who I think has his own world view, saying that Somalia is better with no state, that the things are better when there is no state, but many people disagree with that view. He was saying a Somali economy with no state, but we think he was just bringing a wild view. But the truth, once you don't have territorial integrity and people are safe and determining their own destiny, then nothing can happen. I am also blowing our own trumpet that we always emphasize the character of our army, which is a pro-people force. Our army is different from all other armies in the world because we work with the population, for the population, and we arise from the population. And this is the song all the new generation that enters UPDF has to embrace. So it's not the miracle that we are providing sanity, it's because of the founders of this force taking a deliberate step to mold a pro-people army. And we are committed to this, and I am very happy that I'm associated with that effort, because my daily food is to preach to our soldiers never to forget in whatever they are doing that they cannot afford to point the guns at the people, whether inside or even in the region. I think that everybody will tell you that's why we are very shy to comment on death, because we don't like killing. We are fighters, but we don't like killing. And if we are to kill, then the one to die is really entitled to that dying. Otherwise, we never turn our guns to the population. That's why we always thrive. That's why we are ever strong, because we are a people's force. Once again, we are happy for the reception and for the kind appreciation, even beyond what we had expected. Thank you for God and my country.
Thank you very much, General. Honorable Minister, PS and General and the team, we thank you so much for blowing your own trumpet. My appeal to Ugandans is that you have received the sound. And the sound, I think, was not harmful to the ears, but was a good tune to the ears and which can last in our ears for a while, so that even when we are off the pitch, it can still ring in our ears and make us want to hear it again. The point I'm trying to make is that Ugandans, wherever you are, and those who have been interested in how we are moving as a country, the message from this sector was very clear. This is how far we have gone. Ugandans who wanted to know how the sector is performing, the facts are there. I continue to appeal to my brothers in the media industry and sisters that please take the facts as they are and also help our citizens to get them in a factual way. Don't turn them around to the disadvantage of what the sector is doing. Conclusively, Honorable Minister, you extended the invitation to us. We welcome it with two arms, and we were planning also, but you know, we will work this through our Manifesto focal person and head budget and Charlotte. So you have heard from, this is an executive order. So when we come, don't block us at the gates. We will come and we will come with our media, then we can visit these areas and pick, but under your guidance. We don't want to come and be stubborn visitors. So this marks the end of this session. I want to thank you, all of you, our visitors, the media, our partners, and our hosts for this session. Lastly, we will, as a tradition, we also request to have a photo opportunity with you as a team. The rest of us who are part of the continuing process, 2:30, we are back here and we shall be receiving a team from Minister of Trade, Industries and Cooperatives to hear their story. I thank you so much and I declare the session now closed. Thank you.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Homes and Construction Expo is back. Are you looking for answers to your property and real estate development questions? Come and interact with experts in the industry, including architects, engineers, developers, interior designers, financiers, and more from 30th November to 1st December 2024. The expo will be at the Millennium Park, opposite Philip Omondi Stadium, under the theme Affordable Housing, Innovations and Technology. There will be captivating exhibitions and insightful discussions daily. Entrance is only 10,000 shillings per day. To book a stall, contact 0772 354 940. The Homes and Construction Expo is brought to you by New Vision.
the parish development model launched in 2022 by President Yoweri Museveni to fight poverty and enhance service delivery at the parish level has disbursed over 1 trillion Uganda shillings to more than 10,500 circles, benefiting over 1 million individuals countrywide. The government of Uganda appreciates you for embracing PDM and using it to move away from Okorera Ekida Kyonka. You are encouraged to continue participating in this journey towards socio-economic transformation.
There is myths that so many of you live by. If your eye is twitching, it means you're going to see someone you like. If it shines and rains at the same time, it means a leopard is giving birth. If your hand is itching, it means you're going to get money. If you see an owl, it means somebody's gonna die. If you hear of a disease outbreak, just know it is in a village district at the border next to some suspicious country. You will want to scratch that last myth because Mpox is in 19 districts and Kampala is among with dozens of cases. Please stop going around checking anyone's hand. Mpox kills. Protect your loved ones.
In a world where every day is a battle for survival, one man endures grueling hardships just to make a living.
Yes, sir.
In Olwatuka, witness a heart-pounding journey of love. Pain, acrimony, and justification that the line between right and wrong has never been so thin.
Maybe I need to remind him who I am. So, you killed my wife.
Olwatuka film premiere will be on the 3rd of December 2024 at Uganda National Theatre, sponsored by...
Oh! Super Soul Sisters ground-based inspiring story grand finale is here! With our theme of Vision for the Future, come and be part of this amazing yet inspiring pageant as we focus on the girls' life journey through storytelling to change people's lives. This December, Saturday the 14th, 2024 at Nakasero Primary School Amphitheatre from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in partnership with Plan International Uganda and UBC TV. Ordinary tickets are sold at 20,000 shillings, VIP table at 500,000 shillings and 1 million Ugandan shillings. Be there.
In Uganda, land ownership is a precious right. But is it secure? The traditional land record system is plagued by presumptive ownership, poor record keeping, and corruption. But what if technology could change everything? Enter blockchain, a secure and transparent solution for land administration. With digitized land administration, experience ease, speed and security. No more lost files, no more bribery. On Behind the Headlines this week, join Timothy Nyangweso and our distinguished panelists as they explore the future of land ownership in Uganda. Digitization of land administration services. How safe is your land?
All on your public broadcaster. UBC, inspiring Uganda. Brand Ambassadors 256 presents the Getter Got Talent Star Search. Amanyika Talanta, the impact of talent. In the heart of our cities, where life is raw, real, and unfiltered, there lies an ocean of untapped potential just wanting to be discovered. Welcome to the stage of dreamers, a platform for the hidden stars. Your moment is now. Uncover extraordinary talent that lives within you. This is the time to live live your dream. Kakati kubaka photo ngoli ku stage ya kabi. Never superstar ba kabi. Mu vibe za kabi. Kwali na bidi. Esukuma akabadi ko paka ku top. So, Olizechi, grab your phone, get creative, and record a 3-minute video of you or your team olabisemu ku talanta yo. Send it to 0759 958 138 or send it to connect@gettogottalent.com. This is GGT, where talent knows no boundaries. Ghetto Got Talent, Amanyi Got Talanta. Visit www.gettogottalent.com.
Talent in the ghetto is possible.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, Atecare segment. Did you know the Atecare are Jewish? How did they become Karamojong, Iteso, and Lango?
When Lango people reached Karamoja, the Karamojong remained there. The Itesos proceeded.
Those were the youth.
The Karamojong said, no, we are going to die there.
And the elders cast them, Ites. So that is how the name Ateso comes from.
Lango was respected and feared for his military might.
Kavalega, together with Mwanga,
ran for safety in Kangai.
Premiering in Lira City at Westcliff Hotel Lira on Saturday, 7th December 2024. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Shocking statistics on road crashes in Uganda show that there were over 23,608 road accidents in a single year, 2023. This highlights an increase of 16% compared to the previous year. The Uganda Traffic and Road Safety Report of 2023 also shows that there were 24,728 casualties from road crashes, with 4,806 people dead, 16,736 seriously injured, and 3,186 escaping with minor injuries. The rampant increase in the number of road crashes and casualties in Uganda is seriously alarming. According to Uganda Police Traffic Report, 80% of road crashes in Uganda are as a result of speeding, reckless driving, and violation of traffic rules and regulations. Your life and that of other road users matters. Every life taken or injured in a road crash is an emotional loss to a family, resource loss to a business, development contribution loss to a community, and a socio-economic loss to the nation. Join hands together to reduce and, if possible, eliminate road crashes from our roads by avoiding reckless driving, obeying traffic signs and rules, and maintaining public safety intelligence to keep ourselves, passengers and other road users safe at every time. Remember, drive safe today to live again tomorrow. Tofira kukubo. In Uganda, land ownership is a precious right. But is it secure? The traditional land record system is plagued by presumptive ownership, poor record keeping, and corruption. But what if technology could change everything? Enter blockchain, a secure and transparent solution for land administration. With digitized land administration, experience ease, speed, and security. No more lost files, no more bribery. On Behind the Headlines this week, join Timothy Nyangweso and our distinguished panelists as they explore the future of land ownership in Uganda. Digitization of land administration services. How safe is your land?
All on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This week on UBC.
Bad gala gangster straight from Kijomo Marachaluba Mazamba Zamba Kwari Jackie Chandi, Queen of the Nile. So within that, I've said where I'm from, my village, and my name.
She's one of the ladies that I believe has the best voices in Uganda.
Like a dream in my sleep, and I know that you wanna be free. Mimo mavu, oh, I know in my heart is I just won't say goodbye. Agasi, agabo, oh, 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 oh. What's cracking, everybody? My name is Jackie Chandiri, the Queen of the Nile, and I would love to encourage you all, please. It's a 20K. It's a fundraising for the transformation of the girl child for a better Uganda, please. The numbers are going to be here and on the screen. Let's do this for the girl child and for the future of Uganda. We, the women, are the ones who hold the future of the world.
And Super Soul Sisters, as we always tell you, is a program for ladies. We make sure that we bring out the best from the ladies.
So people tend to turn to things to try and relieve themselves and think there's an easy way out of problems. But I would want to say, God does not let you go through anything that you cannot go through. Don't forget, on the 14th of December, please be at Nakasero Primary School for a very, very huge transformation when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to declaration of arts and creativity.
Did you know that our #1 value as a nation is to respect and protect the environment? With the current population increase of Uganda and industrialization, this has increased pressure on the natural resources, resulting into environmental degradation and global warming. Developing countries like Uganda could face 80% of the global climate change effects by the year 2030 if no action is taken. Join us here on UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda, on our Eco Plus program, where we bring you an in-depth analysis of issues that are disastrous to our environment. Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m, only on your loved station, the National Broadcaster. Teens Crown, an amazing off-the-hook youth program, brings you an array of fun, exciting, and educative segments you do not want to miss. From red carpet moments to proms, youth empowerment programs to youth gig vibes, and so much more, Teens Crown will get you hooked. Only on UBC TV, every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Don't miss.
You say that I blow his mind every time I'm activated. You just trying to catch a vibe. CC got you fascinated. Jump up on your brand new ride. BMW riding, baby. I ain't gonna tell you lies. That's just how
we run one of the biggest live audience TV shows in the land. Can't do it, I got glory, glory, glory. Hey, now you tell me. Glory, glory, glory. Hey, can't do it, I got glory. Now this involves a lot of prep, a reliable team of professionals. A stylist.
Everything for this life got balance. Evidently more gallant. Happiness deep inside of me and nothing fit to steal. If my job life, I go job. To the people that go talk. I don't need your validation. Steady on my way to the top. So I pull up like a boss.
The artists.
Tekina tekikujjako obufukamira n'omwami w'ekyokunywa.
Bwe tuba nga bye tukola bibanyumira, you are welcome. Bwe bata bibanyumira, we are also doing our own thing. Thank you.
nze omuntu gwenjagala temujja mumanya paka wanaakola ennyo ave mu gallery.
And so much more. We are Horizon Vibe, and there is no vibe like Horizon Vibe. Catch the latest in music, interviews, performances, and so much more every Saturday with me, Calvin the Entertainer, from 10 a.m. on this channel.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Mong and Tayebo?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP, you yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
This weekend on UBC.
For the past few years, TikTok has been the fastest growing app in the entire world, boasting over 1 billion users. And this was facilitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. You know, during those long dreaded months of hibernation, people used to get bored, so they resorted to downloading that app.
Ugandans swiftly adopted to TikTok as their preferred platform for entertainment, creativity, and global connectivity. Dr. Solomon Chimera is known for his innovative storytelling, comic skits, and relatable content in the field of medicine that strikes a chord with Ugandan youth, bringing something unique to the table.
I started putting my videos on TikTok in COVID. And why did you start by disguising your face so much? Actually, if you go back to the history...
the best filter you could get, my brother?
Okay, truth be told, when I saw that filter, it was adding up to what I was thinking.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Journey program on UBC TV is brought to you by Plascon, Color Your World.
Welcome to the Lunchtime News. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. We will dig into it. The Office of the Inspectorate of Government has uncovered issues of absenteeism and extortion of money from poor individuals at government health facilities in Terego district. This was revealed during a visit by Deputy Inspector General of Government Anne Chomjesha to Sileo Health Center 3. Many health workers were absent while others were seen attending to patients while out of uniform. Additionally, midwives at the facility were reported to be extorting money from mothers for mama kits, which the government provides free of charge. The facility also had unqualified personnel administering drugs to patients. During her visit, it was discovered that 10 out of 17 teachers were absent at Sileo Primary School without valid reasons.
What are you supposed to give mama? We give those items. What is the money they get you? They didn't give you money. I don't want to go out of the legislation, but I'm not required by law. You want me to go out of first? No, I didn't get money from anyone here. You go and give people.
Whoever gives money from this family should give it back.
What is the level of education? What are you doing here? You are just assisting them. But in charge, how can I get someone not qualified to volunteer to dispense medicine?
Yes, it is expensive, but not with the...
But no, but we are saying from the time we came here, he has been doing it alone. That's what we are saying. He has been here doing it alone and you are in charge. You're dispensing medicine, you're not qualified. Even if you're using your hand, why are you using your hand? I'm not the PTC here. Why are you using your hand? They're not giving you gloves. In charge. See what you're doing. Is this right? What is using his hand to dispense medicine? Is this one a nurse?
Yes.
You know her? Do you know her? Have you seen her before?
Yes.
She's a nurse?
Yes.
Okay, but ensure that somebody is dressed. That's the only way they can be identified, okay? In charge. You find somebody who is not qualified dispensing medicine and says he was just trained on the job, and even you don't care about the health. The man has an open wound. And I also don't understand why you have so many volunteers. Volunteers come with, where do you think they get money from? They come to volunteer under the guise of volunteering. So, Chairman, you have seen, District Chairman, you have seen the problem that is in your district. I'm going to take action. How you must supervise your people to ensure that these loopholes don't happen again. How can you not care about your people? How? Now, when they pay you Mama Kitty 5,000, what does it do for you? What does it do for you? It's not enough for you to, deny in my face that it's not true. You know that it is true, but what does the 5,000 do for you? You really see a mother in pain who does not have money and you still must extort from them for services that are free. Now I have come and sounded a warning. Next time it's going to be different. Have you heard? P3? Yeah, this baby is in P3.
Right now, the Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, has urged lawyers to balance between culture and law to ensure justice. He also urged the Ministry of Education and Sports to integrate mother language education into the curriculum to preserve cultural values. The Premier made these remarks while presiding over the 19th Annual Lawyers' Day at Nkumba University in Entebbe.
And culture is where justice meets humanity. Our laws must respect and protect the diversity of cultures while also upholding the principles of justice, equality, and human rights. And that is why we have today's theme as culture and the law, and we are looking at bridging traditions and modernity. In Africa, our cultural heritage is not only our identity, but also our source of wisdom and community.
As future legal professionals, you must understand that this is not just a theoretical problem. The questions of how the law can deal
is foreign. It was imported and involuntarily imposed on all of us. But this does not necessarily put it at odds with our native laws or concepts of justice. Not necessarily. For example, the law, there is a presumption of innocence in criminal proceedings or criminal trials, the presumption of innocence. But the Baganda also say, Tosala Gwakawala, which means you can't condemn someone before you've had both parties. That's, I think, a presumption of innocence as well. So the law is not necessarily at odds with our value systems. The magazine. Thank you.
And the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, has condemned foreign countries that interfere with Uganda's decisions on bills, laws and acts, especially throwing criticism against Uganda's Homosexuality Act. He was addressing the 29th Joint Government of Uganda Development Partners Access to Justice sub-program. That's the annual review report in Munyonyo.
The 29th Joint Government of Uganda Development Partners Access to Justice Sub-Program Annual Review Report, which was celebrated on the theme Empowering the People, Building Trust, Upholding Rights, was attended by members of JELOS, security operatives, public prosecutions, government agencies and development partners including GIZ, Australian Embassy among other dignitaries, who support interventions that contribute to sustainable development goals and achievements.
The government has issued the National Development Force for development of the program implementation action plans. The JELOS, together with other actors under the governance and security program, have developed a program implementation action plan for the NDP4.
They called for investment in data collection centers.
For Amanda has focused on these key result areas: enhancing efficiency in the delivery of justice, law and order services.
The head of office, Australian Embassy Development Corporation, Dr. Kajal Switha, highlighted achievements and impacts in the annual review report.
Where the rule of law is strong, corruption diminishes, security increases, and economic growth thrives. For businesses, the rule of law is a beacon of predictability and fairness.
Dr. Kaja was concerned over key issues that needed to be addressed. She called for dialogue between the government and the opposition to resolve differences.
And we also welcome the recent establishment of an LGBTQI desk at the Commission. Freedom of assembly is a fundamental principle of democracy. As we head into the electoral period, we need to ensure that the human rights of all persons, irrespective of their political opinions, are respected.
The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, condemned all criticism against Uganda's rule of law.
That whenever I travel outside Uganda, I get an earful about the Anti-Homosexuality Act. We have been judged before the legislation